Hello lovely beaders. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is different. It is different from my usual beading tutorials. This is because this is a reverse beading video. I made this Magnolia necklace more than 10 years ago, but it never found a home. I think it is better to give these beads a new life than to let them sit forgotten in a dark box. A little warning. If you do not like to see finished jewelry being taken apart, please do not watch this video. It is a bit sad to see, but I need to make space for new creations and new ideas. Like I said, I made this necklace more than 10 years ago. Feels a bit strange even for me because first I need my pliers and only then my scissors. I used a head pin to secure the flower to the necklace part. So first I have to cut the head pin and the flower falls apart. As you can see, this flower has 3 layers of petals and a small beaded bead inside. But before I cut the petals, I want to save the gemstones from the necklace part. These gemstones are the most valuable materials here. Even if I destroy my work, at least I can save the gemstones for a new project. I'm going to speed up the rest of the video. I will comment on what is happening and tell you the story of this jewelry. But now that you see all the parts that I need to take apart, it is better if we watch these painful steps a bit faster. To take apart the necklace part, first I need to remove the clasp and the jump rings. Then I tried to open the bead tip, but I soon realized that I used very strong glue on the stopper inside. It is bomb-proof. So I decided that I will just cut the stainless steel wire. Now I can finally save my gemstones. And of course my OCD kicks in and I immediately start making small piles of beads. But there is a second necklace part that I need to take apart too. Plus the beads are rolling away. So I will be busy for a while catching my gemstones. Now that all the gemstones are off the necklace, I can put them away. I am putting them into bags so they cannot roll away anymore. Now I can focus on the tricky parts on the ends of the bead crochet, and after that I can start cutting the petals. First I remove the connectors from the bead crochet parts. I want to put the beads from these elements into small piles too. I am leaving the bead crochet part for the very end. This will be either the hardest or the easiest part to take apart. I already know the answer, but you will see it later. You will see me putting away my small piles of beads many times during the video. I really cannot stand a mess among my beads. This is why I clean up as I go. And yes, the hardest part starts now. I spent hours making these petals. They are made of small leaves. Each layer has 4 leaves. So I made 12 leaves in different sizes and then I beaded them together to make a layer. Now I am cutting these layers back into leaves and then I cut the leaves too. I want to save the beads for a new project. I will speed up this part even more because it is very painful for me to watch. It took me a long time to figure out how to make a realistic magnolia shape from beads. Then I spent hours beading to get the final form. And yes, I am cutting it up. What else can I do if no one wears it? I will make new jewelry from these beads. Maybe someone will fall in love with the new one. I cut up and sorted the beads from the small petal very quickly, right? Now it is time for the medium petals and then the large ones. Now I have time to tell you how I made these petals. They are actually peyote diamonds. I taught you how to bead these diamonds in my video number 76. If you saw that video, you know how I made these leaves. Connecting them was easy. I just went through one side of a leaf and joined it to the side of another leaf. To take them apart, first I cut the thread between the leaves. After that I cut each leaf one by one to open the peyote stitch. It is not hard, but if you ever took apart a peyote project, you know it is very slow. Sometimes you have to take out the beads one by one. Another way is to cut the thread through the whole length of the leaf. But if you do that, it is very hard to clean the tiny thread pieces from between the beads. I thought I would share a little insight about the difference between the diamond from video 76 and these leaves. In video 76 the diamond has a bicone in the middle, but these leaves do not. Also, I made the diamonds in that video with Delicas beads because I wanted the finished shape to be very stiff. But I made these leaves with size 11 seed beads. I used seed beads because I wanted to shape the leaves easily. The result is not as stiff as with Delicas beads, so the petals look more natural and not so perfect. It is the same pattern, but with different materials you get a very different look. And of course I had a little accident while cutting the leaves. There is a saying, only those who do nothing never make mistakes. The scissors slipped and I poked my finger. I cut that part out, but this is why you see a bandage on my finger now. I know everyone says that I should not hold the scissors toward myself because I might get cut. But it is so hard to find the right direction to cut. These small things are very hard to hold while I try to find the thread. I rarely have accidents because I pay close attention to what I'm doing, but sometimes they still happen. It was nothing serious. I used the bandage to keep the cut clean. Half an hour later I took it off and I am fine now. And it is done. I took apart all the petals and the beaded bead too. Now I am putting these beads away because the bead crochet part is next. Taking apart bead crochet can be a nightmare if you cannot find the end where you finished it. But if you find that last loop and undo it, the whole thing comes apart with just one move. It is almost like magic. So I looked for the thread ends on both sides. It is not easy to find exactly where to pull the thread through so the last loop can get free. You need to find that specific point to make the crochet undoable. At this point I really hoped that I would pick the right end to start the process. And as you can see, I guessed correctly. With just one move the whole thing started to come apart. And just like that, in a few seconds, I undid the crochet part that took me about 2 hours to make. It's true, I still have to take the beads off the thread and I need to sort them out too. This part will be harder now because all the colors are mixed on the string. Well, now all I have is a pile of beads. This was definitely not my favorite video to make. I hope I can create something even more beautiful from these rescued beads, so the work won't feel wasted. How do you feel? Was it worth cutting it up? Let me know in the comments. And that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for hanging out with me. See you next week.